Hey everyone, my name is Diana DeSol, and today I'll be drawing myself in Big Mouth. Let's get started. So I wanted to do this challenge because I saw a TikTok made by Nanako Chance, and she drew herself in the style of Big Mouth, and since I love the show, I thought it would be really fun to do. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest for a second. When I first heard about this series, I wasn't very intrigued because I thought the animation was abysmal. And overall the look was very ugly to me, especially with the big bug eyes and like these large lips. And when I first saw the trailer, it had a lot of crude humor and it seemed like it depended on a lot of gross out humor. So I think that's why a lot of people, especially animation fans such as myself, didn't really want to give it a chance. But after watching a few episodes, I was very pleasantly surprised because the writers did a good job establishing arcs for each of these characters, and a lot of them go through similar experiences that we've been through, such as going through like a parent's divorce or having insecurities about your body. And I also really like the world building they establish with the hormone monsters. Now, in this universe, each kid has a hormone monster which act as literal personifications of puberty. And they kind of act like these imaginary friends if they were like rated R. I also like that each hormone monster is different from each other, so all of them have these very distinct personalities, which creates interesting dynamic with the personalities of the characters, the kids. So when creating myself in the style of Big Mouth, I focused on what makes Big Mouth have such a distinct style, and I noticed that they have these bug fish eyes that kind of protrude outside of their head. And of course they have this big mouth, haha, the name of the series. Anyway, they have these really big lips that also protrude out, so I try to make sure I included that. And a lot of the characters have these really large bobble heads that are like almost half the size of their body. So I also try to create an accurate representation of how I was in middle school. So I was a chubby girl and I always wore my hair in a ponytail because I didn't know how to do braids or any of that fancy stuff. And along with being fat, I had a lot of insecurities with my body. And I just remember this terrifying experience in my bus where we had to share seats with people, but since I was a big girl, I would take up most of the seat and I would feel very bad. But the school had to make it worse because they were extremely underfunded, so they would force 3 people to share a seat that was only meant for 2. So the third person who sat there, half of their bum was sitting at the edge of the seat, and it was like that for 40 minutes straight. And me being a fat person, I felt awful, and I would try to suck up my stomach and try to squeeze, be as small as possible so it wouldn't take us much room. And I just remember that I didn't take the bus that next year because of that. Anyway, I mentioned this because I feel like that story, that arc of having body insecurities fits very well with the show, so I thought that was pretty neat. So when creating my hormone monster, I imagined her to be a mean girl because when I was going through puberty, I thought if I had a toxic sentiment of if I lost weight, I would be prettier. And if I was pretty, I would be very well liked by everyone. And I feel like this perfectly describes what it felt like going into 7th grade. I was very unsure and insecure about myself, and having my hormone monster be this mean girl that was obsessed with fashion, makeup, looking like everyone else, and just being very shallow would give an interesting dynamic between me and my monster. And I feel like that's very accurate to how it was that first year of middle school. Hello, Editor Diana here. I did not mean to say that girls who like clothing and makeup and nail polish are shallow. That's not true. It's just when I was going through puberty, I was very shallow and I happened to like makeup, social media and all the girly things. So sorry about that. So along with making my hormone monster this popular girl, I gave her like a 60s style bop. I literally have no reason why, but other than giving her a very distinguishable look, and it would make her very different from the other hormone monster that we've seen on this show. So I thought it would just make her look very iconic. Along with drawing her hair, it also gave me an idea of what if my hormone monster had this little hairspray bottle that she carries around, so she makes sure that she has that voluptuous, voluminous hair all the time. And I thought it would just be pretty funny, and I think it fits her very well. So the image on the right is me and my hormone monster going into 8th grade. And I decided to do another drawing because I went through a big change during those 2 years. And the show is all about going through changes. So I thought if I was in the show, this would be my arc. And I'll explain why. Because during 8th grade, I lost a lot of weight. I think I lost over 50 pounds within that year. And along with this new weight, I gained a lot of confidence, and I felt like I could wear the clothes I always wanted to wear, and I didn't feel weird and out of place. But along with this new confidence, I also became like a really mean person. And I became obsessed with my image and how people perceived me because I desperately wanted to be popular and be like everyone else. So I would either paint my nails, I would straighten my hair every single day, and I would like cut off a lot of my friends, and it was just a terrible, terrible year. But fortunately, as I grew up, I learned that, popularity isn't really important, and what happened since high school will be meaningless in the rest of your life. But yeah, it was definitely a big change that I had to go through, and it was an experience. Definitely don't want to go back, but I thought it was life-changing. Oh, I just realized I never gave my monster a name. So, I don't know, I kind of see her as a Yolanda or an Anne Marie. I don't know, something very Mexican, because I'm Mexican, so I feel like my horror monster should have a Mexican name. But yeah, there it is. And I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.